started walking in. We're walking on this service B level road. No maintenance at all on it. It's just a dirt road. So we got quite a bit of rain yesterday. Definitely enough to not drive on this. It's pretty soupy. So the plan is to use this road and dump into a creek bottom. So I got my rubbers on, and then I got to change shoes for when I get up on a stalk. And a little bit different to when I get out of the creek, then I can change my shoes. These are definitely better for sneaking around. So I just got into the creek bottom. As you can see, I'm pretty concealed down in here if there's any deer above me. And I just checked the wind with some milkweed. And as suspected, the wind is actually coming in my face more like kind of an angle like this. If I drop the weed. My wind will actually go down into the back into the ditch. Buck bed in the creek bottom. They'll do that on warm days to stay cool. So I kind of made it to the spot that I wanted to get to. It's kind of actually a little blind that I built for on the ground, and I use it for muzzleloader. And the creek that I came out of is right there, and I just popped out over here. And there's a hayfield right there. It's very secluded. There's trees all the way around it, and then there's an opening right there. So these deer feel very safe. There's also another hayfield back on this side that's surrounded by trees. Very excluded area. But as you can tell, I have very high winds coming this way. So I'm able to get away with a lot more noise. And like I said, I just came here and did some staging. So what I mean by staging is I got ready. I packed in some extra clothes because I figured I'd kind of get sweaty on the way in. And then I've got my knee pads on for tucked in the shade here. I'm trying to figure out what scenarios I'm trying to go on over my head. Right now my main goal, so how the buck came yesterday was over there is the property line where he came, and then he came into this bedding area yesterday, and he probably spent about a good 20 minutes in there, maybe 15, and then he went back to the lane that he came down, and then he ended up going over to the neighbors. That was it. That was at 5 o'clock. We're about an hour from that right now. My plan right now is to get in the middle here so I can see down this field and down this field. And if he comes into this, kind of make a game plan. So I just got set up by this big pine tree. And there's a main trail that comes here. As soon as I got to this tree, there was two does coming, and she came right here. There's a trail here. And she kind of just pounded off a little bit. She wasn't too scared, but she had no idea what it was. The wind is coming like this. I crawled on my belly all the way from the creek all the way over was blowing that way where I came from. Where I saw that buck last night was up there on the fence line. So my plan is if I see him come down the fence line and work his way this way, I'm gonna dip down into this main path and I'm gonna crawl. I'm gonna crawl to where he crossed the property line then, because then if he's patterned right, he'll maybe just come back out here. And then I'll just crawl down in there. That's what I got. But if a buck does come down this trail, I got a shot there and I got a shot there for both if they come from either direction. So we'll see. This is the buck that I saw both Monday and Tuesday. I could tell because of how wide his inside tines were. We start calling him GP for goalpost because he definitely fit a football through his inside tines with how wide he is. This is last year's picture. Based on what I see here, I think he's either a 4.5 or a 5-year-old here from last year. So this year he's either a 5.5 or a 6.5. The next day, which was Tuesday, had the same wind again coming out of northwest. This time it was very windy, so I was able to use the conditions to my advantage to get closer. The red line is the path that I took. Parked my truck up here, walked down the main walked down the road, and I dumped down in the creek, and I followed the creek the entire way through the entire property, and I ended up getting to this little pocket right here, and I ended up seeing the buck right about here. I'm assuming I never did see him come down this way. That's what my anticipation was, but he did not come down this way. He eventually just showed up into this hayfield. He went this way and eventually just made a big loop. I think maybe just looking for more does, and eventually he was following a doe and he stopped right here, and that was the last time I ended up